Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honor to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of the great millstone that rule well, teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you sisters that are sincere in your children, shalom. And then today's video is going to be titled, just trusting in the Lord, because ultimately that's what we got to do more and more. We got to constantly beg the Lord to give us that spirit to trust in him more. You see, speaking to myself first and foremost. So I'm going to just grab a few precepts that I got here just about trusting in the Lord, because that's very important, especially knowing the time and seasons that we're about to come into, because we're about to come into some very serious times. You see, the time of Jacob's trouble is fastly approaching. You see, the hour of temptation soon to come. World War III is heating up. So, hey, we're getting ready to come into some very terrible times, man. And we're going to have ourselves builded up through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And that starts with us trusting in the Lord. And I'm going to actually look up that word trust, right, on the AI overview on Google just before I grab this precept. But the meaning to it, it means, right, it means to affirm belief in the reliability, truth, and ability or strength of someone or something. You see, that's very powerful, man. So we got to rely upon Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai no matter what, man. No matter what we're ultimately going through, no matter what we're facing, no matter what's bound to come in our lives. You see, because brothers and sisters are constantly going through something. You see, whether it's good, whether it's bad, we're all having our, days of when we're going through different things. You see, but through it all, we got to trust in the Lord, man. And we know ultimately that these things that we are going through, that the Lord is only strengthening us up in the spirit, man, and preparing us for the times that which we're about to come into, you see, which are those perilous days that are upon us. Right. So I'm actually grab this precept right here to start it off with. This is Proverbs chapter 3, and I'm going to read verse 5, baby scripture, but powerful. It says, trust in the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, with all thine heart, right? Meaning your mind. And that's what we got to do, man. We got to trust in the Lord with all our minds, man. You see, no matter what we're facing, no matter what ultimately comes our way, no matter what we go through, no matter what we experience in our day-to-day lives, we can't allow anything that we're ultimately dealt with to, deter our trust in the Lord or to tear down our faith, you see, because when you actually trust in something, you have faith in it. You see, as I just read in that definition a few minutes ago, you rely upon it, you see, and that's how we want to constantly be with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We want to rely on the Lord no matter what, man. You see, being strong in him. All right. So it says, and lean not into thine own understanding, you see, and we can't do that because, like I said, when you're going through certain different things, you see, the flesh will try to take over at times and try to make you lean into your own understanding, make you try to think certain thoughts, you see, that doubts the Lord and things like that. Those be those spirits on the left hand that we're ultimately fighting against, you see. But hey, we got to be strong in the Lord no matter what, man. We got to trust in the Lord no matter how it may look, no matter how it may feel. You see, no matter how, the situation may appear, we got to firmly trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So I'm going to grab this precept as well. You see, bear with me. And this is Romans chapter 15, and I'm going to read verse 13, right? It says, now the power of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Spirit, right? Or the Rakakwadash, right? So like I said before, man, hey, we got comfort, man, in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, these scriptures, all of the different things that the Lord have given us, you see, prayer, all type of different things to build ourselves up in him, to trust in him more. He has given us those things, man, and we have to apply those things. That's why the Lord have given us these spiritual tools that we need ultimately to trust in him more, man, because like I said, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle. You're going to have all type of different things coming up against you to try to deter and to try to, tear down that trust that you have in the Lord. You're going to have those spirits coming at you. You're going to have those bad days where things just, are not going in your favor. You see, but hey, you got to be strong through it all, man. You see, and continue to trust in the Lord. Right. So I'm actually go to this precept right here. Right. Because this is what we got to continue to keep doing. Right. This is Ecclesiasticus. Right. Also known as Sirach in the Apocrypha, and I'm going to go to chapter 2. And we'll start at verse 5. I started verse 1. You see, it said, because these are the things that we got to understand, right? It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So that's what we got to understand in this thing. You know, that when you come to serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that, hey, you're going to be tempted. You see, you're going to go through all type of different things that's going to try to, pull you out of this thing. You see, you're going to go through all type of hardships, afflictions, different things like that. But at the end of the day, if you're trusting in the Lord, if you're not leaning into your own understanding through all of these different battles and tests that we ultimately do go through, these temptations, then, hey, you're going to lean into the Lord in it all, right? You're going to trust in him. You're going to know that he has the last say so in everything that ultimately takes place. And we know that, as the scriptures have said, I'm going to grab that, matter of fact, through the Spirit. Bear with me. I don't want to botch it. We got to understand these things, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13, right? One of my favorite scriptures, and this is the mindset that we got to ultimately have, when we are being tested, when we are going through certain things. You see, when Satan is trying to desire to sift us, because we know that Satan is trying to sift us as wheat, you see, trying to shake up our faith, trying to, the foundation of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that we're rooted upon. He's trying to ultimately, shake that, man. He wants to attack that. Right. And if you're not firmly rooted in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then guess what? You can ultimately give in to that. But hey, you don't want to give in to that because you ultimately want to trust in the Lord, regardless, you see, of how the situation may seem or how it may feel. Right. But this is 1 Corinthians 10-13 KJV. It says, there have no temptation taking you. Right. So we don't want to allow any of these temptations or things we go through to ultimately to take us, man, to make us stop believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to make us lose faith, to make us, stop trusting in the Lord. Just because things are, going bad for us in our lives. No, we don't want to have that mindset, right? It says, there have no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man, right? But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that you may be able to bear it. So like I said, that's why we got to trust in the Lord, because even when we are going through certain different types of things, the Lord is still going to be with us, even in those bad times, even when it may feel like, that the Lord is not dealing with you. Hey, you got to trust in the Lord regardless of how it may seem, man. You see, no matter how strange the situation that you're in may feel, you got to trust in the Lord through it all. Right. And this is the spirit that we ultimately need to constantly pray to the Lord to give us, man. Because like I said, it's easier said than done, because hey, it is a battle being in this flesh, you see, but we got to pray to the Lord to give us that spirit. Right. So this is back at Sirach chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. You see, so hey, you don't want to make haste in time of trouble. You don't want to, when you go through a hard situation, you start doubting the Lord and you start again, what's the word I was looking for? You start losing hope. You see, you start giving up and start, complaining and all of that different type of stuff. No, you don't want to have that spirit. You want to trust in the Lord regardless, man. You see, you don't want to have that spirit of, oh, man, the Lord ain't dealing with me because I'm going through something bad right now. No, man. It says, verse 3, cleave unto him, right? When you cleaving unto something, right, you trusting in it, right? You're holding on to it for support, right? And that's what we do to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because the Lord is our support, right? It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end, right? Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state, right? Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So like I said, the things that we're going through, the Lord is only doing these things to build us up in the spirit, man, building us up for, like I said earlier, the times and seasons that we're ultimately about to come in. You see, building up our trust in him, building up our faith, you see, building up our endurance, man, to tolerate and to be able to bear and to deal with things, man. Because like I said, we're getting ready to come into some very horrible times, man. You see, and we're going to have to be builded up in the Lord. So that's why we go through these tests now, right? Preparing us for the big test that is coming, right? So I'm going to say verse 6, right? Believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. You see, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, man. Trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. What does it say in the scriptures? I'm going to grab that real quick. Bear with me, right? I'm going to go to... bear with me. I'm going to go to Psalms, right? Chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse 9, right? It says, The Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble, right? The Lord is always going to be there, right? Verse 10, you just got to trust in him. It says, and they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for thou, Yahweh, has not forsaken them that seek thee. You see, those that trust in the Lord, those that are seeking him sincerely, those that are, trying to the best of their abilities to rehearse the righteous acts. Hey, the Lord is going to be with you, man. You see, and you got to believe that and know that. You see, and whatever you're going through in life, you see, no matter what it is that you're ultimately dealing with, no matter what it is you're facing, no matter what's to come in the very near future, you see, you got to trust in the Lord regardless of everything, man. You see, what does it say in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7? You see, it says, for we walk by faith and not by sight, man. That's what we got to walk by, trusting in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua no matter what, and ultimately not allowing what we're going through or what's going to ultimately be occurring around us, you see, to shake us up, man. Right. And that's the spirit, like I said before, that we ultimately want to pray to the Lord to give us, you see, because every brother, is different, man. Certain brothers, we got to build ourselves up more. You see, everybody has a different portion. The Lord deals with us all at a different level. But still, man, you want to definitely pray to the Lord to give you that spirit, man, to trust in him more. Right. And I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, man, because we all need, to trust in the Lord more and more, man. You see, you can never trust in the Lord enough, man. Right. So I'm actually grab that precept as well, because like I said, we can pray to the Lord for these things, man. You see, to help us with certain things that we lack in certain areas that we need to be built up in. Hey, the Lord said, pray to him for those things, you see. And if you're doing it sincerely, hey, the Lord is going to hear you and he's going to give you those things you need, right, to strengthen your relationship with him. Right. This is James chapter 1, and I'm going to read verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, right, trusting in the Lord, things of that nature, you see, your faith, all of those different things, hey, that's lacking wisdom. You see, lacking trust and things of that nature. Guess what? Like it says, let him ask of the Most High that giveth to all men, right? Because the Lord is the one that builds us up. The Lord is the one that gives us the spirit to trust in him, to rely upon him, to believe in him, man. You see, hey, we're not doing these things according to our own will. The Lord is the one that's given us these things. So guess what? If we lack certain things that we don't have, guess what? We need to pray to the Lord for those things. You see, and like I said, if you're sincere, then the Lord is going to deal with you. Right? It said, let him ask of the Most High that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. You see? And like it says right here, verse 6, this is a beautiful precept too. It says, but let him ask in faith, right? Because as it tells you in what that precept is, that's Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua must believe that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Roughly paraphrasing it. So, hey, when you come into the Lord and ask for certain things, you see, you asking him to strengthen your faith, you asking him to build you up in the spirit. Guess what? You got to believe that the Lord is going to do those things. You can't do it wavering, as it says. It says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. You see, and when you're wavering, that means you don't fully trust in the Lord. You see, you're not fully relying upon him. You're not believing, man. And like I said, you don't want to have that spirit, especially in these times and seasons that we're about to come into, So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Abaratazai, pray it be edifying to you brothers and sisters that may come across it. Just something quick through the spirit. To the next time, I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.